Good evening. We are 1 week before Shavuot, Chag Matan Torah. We received the Torah. Every year, when we get to this date of Matan Torah, the same spiritual light in heaven repeats. It's a cycle. This entire 49 days between Passover to Shavuot, as you can see, it's preparation for Matan Torah, just as it was. Came out of Egypt for only one purpose. אני השם אלוקיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוקים. I am your God that took you out of Egypt to be your God. Otherwise, I don't need to take you out. I only took you out to make a covenant with you. How? By giving you the Torah. So we find that everything, every day, 49 days, 7 times 7, 7 weeks, is preparation for Matan Torah. Preparation for Matan Torah. Now, when we have a tradition that every night of Shavuot, we stay up and learn Torah all night. Why is it? Because just when they were waiting to receive the Torah, hours before, they went to sleep. So Hashem said, I'm giving you the most precious thing in history, and you are going to sleep? That's what's going to be. For 3,323 years, we are staying up to correct the foolishness that we had going to sleep before receiving the Torah. But we found that Hashem said to Moshe 3 days before, it's called Shlosha Yemei Hagbala, 3 days of preparations with some limitations, that Hashem said to Moshe Rabbeinu, no man can be with his wife intimately. No. Why? Why 3 days? 3 days, no relation. Everyone goes to the mikveh. Everyone has to come pure for that event. Why is it? Because when a person is with his wife, that after they being together, there's impurity of the seed. It's called impurity. It makes the person impure, him and her. And it takes 3 days until after the seed of the person becomes spoiled. For 3 days it's still metameh, it still makes her impure. But after 3 days, the Gemara says it masrach. It loses the quality and it cannot do anything. So the impurity, it cannot make impure. So once you go into the mikveh, that's it. There's no point that it's going to come out of the body and makes the woman again impure. So you have to come for preparation of Matan Torah fully pured. What is it? 3 days before, not to be together. Even today, those 3 days are more special than the rest of the 49 days. 46 days of the Omer. The last 3 days are more precious than the other ones, as it was. Everything is a repeat. Everything, every year, the same repeat. We should know, Bezrat Hashem, that the same way we prepare for Matan Torah, that's how we're going to receive it. Not everyone is going to receive it the same way. People who their mind is in a business all the time, and they only learn Torah once in a while when there is no other choice. For instance, they go to a yahrzeit, and the rabbi gives 20-minute speech over there. They look at the watch, they say, I'm stuck here for 20 minutes. So they have to listen for 20 minutes of Matan Torah. So since they got punished, there's no way to run because they have to wait for Arvit. So 20 minutes they have to sit and listen to Torah. Not because they want to learn Torah, because it was forced on them. If they had a way to run, they run. We also find people that they come to the synagogue on Shabbat. Once the prayer is finished, the rabbi is getting on a stand to give a speech, they run quickly home. What are they doing home? Nothing. Sometimes they even stand outside and talk. They're not in a rush really. What's to do? 10, 11 in the morning. They're not even hungry so much. It's morning. So what's the point? The point is that these people are so impure, so deep in a tum'ah, that they actually mamash like allergic to the Torah of Hashem. So Hashem, as we all know, is handling everything with us, measure for measure, midah keneged midah. You cannot stand me, I can stand you. You don't love me, I don't love you. You don't listen to me, I don't listen to you. So what does it say? המסיר אוזנו משמוע תורה, גם תפילתו תועבה. Wow, that's a critical sentence. Someone who removes his ear from listening to my Torah, his prayers are despicable in my eyes. That's what Hashem say. Poor guy. How foolish a person can be without knowing even. That 3-4 hours he was praying, sitting in a shul, hot, cold, people, this, annoying, kids, running, trying to focus, crying to Hashem about his bankruptcy that is coming, crying to Hashem about his divorce, crying about his medical situation, everyone with his problems, and there's plenty of problems, plenty. And he's really believing Hashem. It's not that why he comes to shul, why he pray, why he cry, why he comes Yom Kippur. He has some kind of a belief. And then after that he ran quickly without listening to the drasha. Hashem said, no problem. I was really, really ready to work with you on your request. Shh. It's all got wiped out. Not only it's wiped out, the 3 hours went to the garbage. It doesn't say his tefillah is not getting accepted. If it would say his tefillah is not getting accepted, that's hard as it is. But it uses a much worse expression. Gam tfilato to'eva. To'eva means despicable, dirty in my eyes. Just, when does it say, who knows, for what things the Torah used the word to'eva? To'eva for idol worshipping. To'eva for sex crimes. To'eva for what we do in the bathroom. To'eva. To'eva for proud people, that Hashem can't stand them, cannot stand them. So the word to'eva is used for the worst thing in life. And now, here is a 5th category. Not a chas v'shalom, a criminal. We're not talking idol worshipper here. We're not talking a person who makes sex crimes. We're not talking even a proud, full of ego. No. We're just talking a person that rushed quickly 10 minutes before, and he can hear the Torah. He runs quickly outside. Hashem says, oh yes? You don't want to listen to my Torah? No problem, my friend. My ears are closed for your prayers. My ears are closed for your prayers. Now there is another scenario. Another scenario. Let's say your daughter brought a guy for you to meet. Abba, I'm interested in this guy. It's a great shidduch, great family. He's a genius. He's this, he's that. She finished the Hallel on her future husband. And the father wants to check his future son-in-law. So he said to him, I'm going to put you in this room and I'm giving you 5 minutes to collect as many diamonds as you want. And I have a camera. I want to see how he behaves in a room. So he sees that he comes into the room and he collects few diamonds, and after 3 minutes he leaves the room. But he had 5 minutes. He has a big bag, and he had 5 minutes to collect diamonds. But after 3 minutes he went out. Maybe he had a phone call, maybe he wanted to light a cigarette. He was in a rush to leave the room. What do you think? Would he agree that his daughter would marry this fool or no? He would come and say to her, your future husband is not after all such a genius. Something is not right about him. You give him diamonds and he runs outside? That means he's not normal. I don't want him. Don't want him as a part of our family. It's not normal. It shows that his brain is not functioning. He's right or wrong? 1,000,000% right. 1,000,000% right. They put a pile of diamonds in front of you and say, take as much as you can. You don't take, something is not right about you. So far, you understand what I'm saying or no?
Yes.
Why am I telling you this story now? Because sometimes you come to a lecture. Most lectures between 1 and 1.5 hours. That's usually what it is, everywhere you go. That's a standard lecture. Once in a while you get lucky. You have a speaker who likes to go on and on and on and on. So what happened to some of the people? Some, not everyone. They begin to move nervous in a chair. They move to the edge of the chair. They look at their watch every second. They're embarrassed to get up in the middle. Some of them are not even embarrassed. They live in the middle. But the rest of the people, they begin to move nervously. You see that they lose their concentration. And then what happened right after that? When the lecture is over, the next week when you invite them to the lecture, they say to the organizer, we really would love to come, but the lecture is too long for us. Those, excuse me for saying it, the truth hurts, those are the biggest fools in history. The biggest fools in history. You invite them to collect as many diamonds as possible, and they complain that you gave them too many minutes in a room. 1 minute only. We don't want 5 minutes. That's exactly it. Exactly it. Now, when they go to their stupid parties with all the pritzut and lack of modesty, they are not hoping that the party will be over quick. They stay until until the cleaning people come to clean. Maybe they miss something in the party. Huh? If you tell them there's a game, there's a stupid baseball game, 5 hours, they're not moving nervous in a chair. They hope that it's going to be 5 days, not 5 hours. Everything that it's nothing to do with Hashem, they have lots of patience. When it comes to Torah and Tfilah, no, when it's going to be over? When they call a chazan, a cantor that sings fast, everyone breathe. Baruch Hashem. We'll finish 10 minutes faster this Shabbat. When they call somebody who reads slow, someone is ready to murder already. I'll kill this guy. Can't stand him. Every Shabbat the same guy calls him until he reads. He kills us. What's the end? 10 minutes different. Instead of 11 o'clock, you finish 11:10. That's really the difference between someone who sings beautiful and someone who rush. 10 minutes. Look how the Satan is a genius. How he makes us lose everything for such nonsense. Such nonsense. I have a friend like this. He counts the seconds. And then when the davening is finished, everyone goes home and he is the last person who leaves the building. Stay an hour to chat. So I always tell him, I don't understand. You're so in a rush to finish. In the end, you're not in a rush to go anywhere. Why? There is something in the mind of a person that we sometimes don't pay attention to. I'll give you an example. When a person is not allowed, it's forbidden. His mind demands it all the time. His heart and his mind are craving what's forbidden. Mayim gnuvim im taku. Stolen water is sweeter than regular water that you bought. It's a Yetzer Hara. No, do it, non-stop. Do it. When this desire dies right away, when you tell the person you allow, the desire died. I'll give you an example. Yom Kippur, coming soon in few months. Remember me on Yom Kippur at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Please remember me. Remember this moment. And then you come and tell me if I was right or wrong. Around 2 o'clock, you will feel dizzy and hungry. and already annoyed. Wow, we're already here from 7 in the morning. It's already 2. Still have 6 more hours to go. Look at the watch, at the clock, every 2 minutes, 5 minutes. The time is not moving. And what are you thinking about from 2 until 8? Not about Tfilat Ne'ilah. About the delicious shakshuka that your wife is going to make at 8 o'clock with the hot bagels and the cheese and the whatever you eat. That's where your mind is. So you're constantly thinking, I'm thirsty, I'm dying already for the tea, for the juice, for the water. 8 o'clock, when everything is finished, you're not running home. You will stand by the parking. Shana tova, Chatima tova. How are you? Wow, nah. Another half an hour, no rush. 6 hours, you are counting the minutes because it wasn't allowed to eat. So the Yetzer Hara is constantly digging in your mind, drilling. No, when? To distract you from the real prayer. As soon as it became allowed, no more desire for food. Not in a rush. Checked, you see. All this craving is going away in 1 second. Why is it? Why is it? Because the Yetzer Hara, he knows when to bother you. Once it's allowed, there's nothing else to do. He finished his job. I'll give you a few more proofs for Yetzer Hara. You take a person that like to make scenes with the girls. That's his weakness in life. And you take him to 2 girls, identical twins. They made a survey once. They examined it. One of them is married, one of them is single. Identical twins. You cannot tell the difference between them. Same height, same face, same body, same everything. Who is attracted to more? They made a survey to the married one. He may not do anything because she's married, but who in his mind is attracted to make sin with? With the forbidden one, not with the one is permitted. Here he can marry her and she can be his wife. He wants the other one because she cannot be his. Why? The Yetzer Hara always want to bury you as deep as possible. That's only halfway. Over here it's all the way in, forever. So that's where he's aiming. The Yetzer Hara is always like that. Always like that. He never rests. Never. Let's talk a little bit about the obligations of learning Torah. We'll start with that women, everybody knows that they are not obligated in Talmud Torah. Wrong. Of course they are obligated. How do I know that women are obligated? Very simple. A woman needs to know what food is kosher and what food is not kosher. She must know. It's a responsibility. So how would she know if she doesn't learn? There's thousands of hours to learn how to clean the lettuce from bugs and from flies and from worms and milk and cheese and meat and pots and what happens if mistake happen and when you cut it onion or spicy peppers and then you make a mistake, how many hours, everything. There's so many things to learn just in the kitchen alone. So she has to learn. Obviously she has to learn. The law of modesty. You know how much there is to learn? So much to learn about modesty and nida. Nida is one of the hardest things in the Torah to learn. So there's a lot to learn right there. She has to learn all the laws of Shabbat. In order for a person to be Shomer Shabbat perfectly, he has to learn about 7 years from morning to night, non-stop. 7 years to know how to keep Shabbat. People know 20, 30 things and they think they keep Shabbat. They make thousands of mistakes every Shabbat. In their talking, in their behaving, in many things. In Muktzeh. Muktzeh is very popular mistakes. Touching things and moving things from one thing to the other. There's lots of things that people do. I see all the time. See guests coming to me for Shabbat. They have no idea what Muktzeh is. They don't know which things is Muktzeh, what allowed, how allowed. You need to move it, how to move it. A lot of little things. But it adds up. So there's a lot to learn about keeping Shabbat. Lots to know. Then there is all the laws of Lashon Hara. It applies to a woman. She has to know when it's mitzvah to speak Lashon Hara, when it's a very big sin. What do you say when somebody asks you about a shidduch for your best friend or for your sister? You're allowed to say that she's bad? You're not allowed? You're allowed to hint what particular things you're allowed to say, what you're not allowed to say, what you must say, what happens if you don't say. So many things. It's a lot. There's books about this. Many books. She has to learn all the law, the 13 principles of Judaism. 90% of the Jews in the world don't even know there is something like that, the 13 principle of Judaism. A Jew that doesn't know it has no share to the world to come. You know it? 13 עיקרים של היהדות. There's only one Hashem, must believe in Mashiach, or Moshe is the master of all prophets, will be the resurrection of the dead. There's no other Hashem. There's all this is the principles. It usually in some of the סידורים in the morning, it printed after the תפילת שחרית. הרי אני מאמין ב13 עיקרים של התורה and all. So if a person doesn't know it, doesn't have the foundation of the emunah, of the principle of the Torah of Hashem. There's so much to learn about that. Women must learn musar, pride, ego, jealousy, anger, stinginess, generosity. Women have to learn how to be wives. What you're allowed to do in a marriage, what's your obligation, what's big mistakes to do, how do you handle situations. She has to learn the psychology of a man. She has to learn how to raise her children. She has to learn a lot. 50 years of learning would not be enough for what a woman needs to know. So who say women don't have to learn Torah? Of course. What it means when the Gemara said that Nashim Pturim mitalmud Torah means that it doesn't have to be subject to specific times like it's by the men. Which means if today she was very busy with the kids, all day the kids were sick, diarrhea, she had to run to the doctor, change diapers every 5 minutes. So if she didn't learn Torah today, it's not considered for her as a big sin like it's by the men. But a man, even a minute before he dies, is connected to machines in a hospital. The doctor gives him 5 minutes to die. That 5 minutes is still obligated to learn Torah. Soon I'm going to read to you some of the laws that you understand what's the obligation of learning Torah. Let's go one by one. In the right order, I'm reading it from the Rambam. That's the principle, that's the foundation of in Shulchan Aruch. Hilchot Talmud Torah, chapter 1. Halacha 1, first halacha. Nashim va'avadim, women and slaves. Today we don't have slaves. Even though all of us are slaves to the money and to the luxury. But it's not what the Torah is calling a slave. Slave means mamash has no freedom. He has to serve you for free. He works for you. So women and slaves, pturim mitalmud Torah. Daily, what it says, v'agita bo yomam v'layla. From that they obligate, but they have to know. They have to know all the things I mentioned before. Women, we understand why. They have to raise children and they're not free to do whatever they want. They match their days to the kids' needs, to what the kids have. But why slaves? Same thing. Slaves are also like women. They have to work what you tell them to do. They have to clean, they have to cook, they have to bring water from the well. They have to do everything the master tells them. Since they are not free to do whatever they want, they cannot be obligated to learn daily, hourly, etc. So women and slaves are in the same category when it comes to freedom. If they want to do whatever they want, they're not always able to. Little children, even before bar mitzvah, their father must teach them Torah. שנאמר, ולמדתם אותם את בניכם לדבר בם. You have to teach your children to talk, to be able to speak and to describe my Torah. The women are not obligated to teach their children Torah. They are not it's not the obligation of a woman. It's the obligation of the husband. Today, we found a way around it. What's the way? So there we pay money and the yeshiva do the job for us. So if a person puts his, he's putting his kids in the Talmud Torah, he thinks, Baruch Hashem, I just pay a few $100 and they do the job for me. That's true, but it's not 100% true. This is only true if the Talmud Torah is doing a reliable job. If you just put them in Talmud Torah because that was cheap, and they accepted you because you don't want to pay, or whatever the case is, or because you want to live in a fancy area, and that's the only Talmud Torah over there, even though where you live right now, it's a much better Talmud Torah, but you want to move to a fancy place for the show-off. You want to say that you're living in this town, not where you live until now. So because of your stupidity, you want to move to this fancy place, and the education of your children will go to the garbage, and you destroy them. So then you are not fulfilling your obligation of raising your children to Torah. Just because the place of the building it's called yeshiva, it's not always called yeshiva. Thank you. You see why it's important you come every lecture? Oh, thank you. So, you only dismiss in your obligation to teach your children Torah if you make sure you put them in a good Talmud Torah. Even if they have to drive with the bus for a long ride, you must put them in a good Talmud Torah. And if they are not doing so good over there, you have to get them a tutor to do the job. Or you take an hour or two earlier from your work and you come and you sit with your children and you bring them up to date. If you neglect your kids and they'll know math, they'll know English, they know a lot of things, they know every baseball player, every football player, but they won't know Torah, you cannot escape the punishment. And it's severe punishments because Hashem is not forgiving on the honor of His Torah. Soon I'm going to show you what I mean. You have to make sure every one of our children is educated in Torah. In Judaism, if a man is not educated in Torah, he's automatically a criminal. It's not like by the Goyim, Muslims, Christian, you know their religion, fine, you don't know, no problem, you're not a criminal. Anyway, the religion is false, so who cares? By us, if you don't know the word of God, automatically you're a criminal. Why? We're not talking that you Down syndrome or autistic and your brain don't work. You have a brain. You use your brain for all nonsense. The most important thing in the eyes of Hashem, you neglect. So automatically you're a criminal. It shows who you are, that you don't care about your Creator, and you care about nonsense. The same way a person must teach his children Torah, he has to teach his grandchildren as well. The son of your son, the son of your daughter. שנאמר, where does it say it? והודעתם לבניך ולבני בניך. You inform my Torah to your children and to the children of your children. Every knowledgeable Jew in Torah, rabbi, not rabbi, but knows a lot of Torah, has an obligation to teach from his Torah to others. If he only learns for himself and he doesn't share his wisdom and his knowledge to others, he's violating his obligation. What's the obligation? It's just like a doctor, that he can save life and he's in a place of a war, and he sits and smokes his cigar and drink wine instead of saving people. And when you ask him, doctor, why didn't you help the wounded people? He said, no one is paying me for that. He would lose his license. Because there are things in life that are more important than money, who's going to pay you not. Right now, people need to get saved. Same thing if you know Torah. You cannot come and say, oh, come teach us Torah. So you say, pay me. So we don't have. I really don't have. No, you don't pay, I don't teach. That's a criminal. Anyway, one way or the other, the Torah say, I taught you for free, you teach others for free, I'll take care of you, don't worry. That's why it's very, very foolish to demand money for teaching Torah. It's very foolish. Every person who teaches Torah, the minimum level of emunah that a Jew should have should be enough for him to understand that he has to trust Hashem and he's not a mechanic, he's not an engineer who comes to fix the refrigerator and he has an hourly rate. It doesn't work that way. He has to know that Hashem feed the bugs and the elephants. He has incentive to feed him. It's much more important than the elephant in Africa if he teach Torah, no? So if Hashem can feed the Indian who kiss Buddha, he can also feed Moshe or Yitzchak that come to teach Torah for free. And if they are not sure about it, who wants to learn Torah from them bichlal? They don't even have 1% of emunah. People like this are not worthy to teach Torah. A person who has no emunah in Hashem, how exactly he can pass to the audience that he have what Hashem wants them to know, and he himself doesn't believe in Hashem? Just like a doctor who come to teach the patients how horrible is the cigarette while he's smoking in the middle of a class. Anyone would take any advice from this doctor? Probably not. So if the people see that the one who teach them Torah has no emunah in Hashem, how exactly they're going to learn from him to have emunah? If they see he himself disrespect the Torah, how exactly he can teach them to respect the Torah? Same thing, parents. You keep telling your children, learn Torah, it's important. Did you learn? Did you learn? Go to learn, and the kid see that his father never touched a book. All these beautiful requests, the boy is not a fool. My father wants me to learn Torah, and all he cares about is nonsense. Watching things, going places. He has plenty of time for tennis, for soccer, for football, for trips, but not 1 minute for Torah. And he preaching to me, learn. So, a person is obligated to hire a melamed libno, someone to do the job for you. Who is coming first? If a person has to hire a teacher for himself or for his son, who is he more obligated to hire this teacher to? For himself or for his son? For himself. We have a rule in the Torah, everything in life, everything, every scenario, every situation, your life is always coming before everybody else. Before your wife, before your parents, before your children, before anyone. Your life comes first. Remember this. If two people walk in the desert and they're both going to die, but they have enough water to save one of them, you have the water, it's your water. If you give half to your friend or to your brother, half to him, both of you will die. So it's not a good idea. If you give him all the water, he will get saved and you die. If you drink, you get saved and you cried for 20 years that your friend died or your brother. What's the law in the Torah? You have to drink. If you give it to him, it's a sin. It's not a mitzvah. Why? Because you killed yourself. You may say for your protection, what difference does it make, me or him? One Jew has to die, no? So for you, Hashem, one had to die. So what do you care if I died or he died? I gave my life for him. What does the Torah say? You don't have permission. Your life is not in your hand. I own your life. I gave it to you. You borrow your life from me. I gave you the battery. You have a phone, but the battery on the phone is mine. I put it in. You have no permission to mess with my battery. Battery is the life. I own it. You don't have permission. You can do whatever you want with the phone. That's your choice. But the battery is mine. You had no permission to give it to somebody else. So when a person can save his life and he chooses to die, even if he has a beautiful reason like now, is being judged as a murderer. But he say, I never murdered a bug. A mosquito I didn't kill. How am I a murderer? You murdered yourself. You could have saved yourself, and it's committing suicide. So he has to drink himself. Unless there's some exception to the rule. That the other person is a very big rabbi that teach lots of Torah and he's in Am Haaretz. He doesn't benefit the nation of Israel in any way. But the other person that is about to die, he saves souls. He make people come close to Hashem. He teach thousands Torah. So for me to save me and let him die, it's a tragedy for the Jewish nation. Then you're allowed to give your life. You understand what's happening here? Other than that, there's no permission to do so. Let's continue. A person should learn Torah first, then marry a woman. Why? If you come to the marriage a total ignorant, who is going to be your wife? Who? Someone in your level. Why? מזווגים לו לאדם זיווג לפי מעשיו. Person get his soulmate according to the level that he's at. So when you're a total secular Jew, who's going to be your wife? Miri from the club. Tattoos, cigarettes, drugs, alcohol, 500 boyfriends before you. That's going to be your wife. Go and have family with her. We'll see you how long it's going to last. But if you're Talmid Chacham, shy, humbled, good personality, learning Torah all day, yeshiva, watch your eyes, don't make sins with the ladies, they'll give you not Miri, they'll give you Miriam from Bet Yaakov. No man ever touched her. She never flirted with anyone. She doesn't have a Facebook account with 500 friends. She doesn't have any dark secrets. She doesn't know all the dirt in this world. She'll be a devoted wife, a great foundation, a great mother, a great supporter. You'll never have to worry where she is. How great life could be. Women are building the homes and destroying the homes. But what kosher woman will go with a total loser that doesn't know 2 words of Torah? It's just never going to happen. And if she agreed to marry him, she's for sure not kosher. Because a kosher woman doesn't marry a man just because he have a nice car. If she did so, it was an illusion. She's not kosher. I one time had a son of one of the richest Jews in the world. No exaggeration. Perhaps the second richest Jew in the world. There is Sheldon Adelson, the billionaire. He is the second one after him. So, his father worth more than $15 billion. And the girl, he told me what he wants. He wants tall, beautiful, skinny, and of course righteous. Doesn't have a lot of requests, this guy. We figured it out, I'm the prince. Maybe they'll stand online to marry me. So I told the girl about him, but before that, I'm the last person who makes shidduchim based on how much money a person has. So I asked him, tell me which yeshivot you went to. He gave me the names of the best yeshivot. But in those days, which was more than 10 years ago, I was naive a little bit. I didn't know yet that if your father owned the world, then he can get you in any yeshiva he wants almost. By a nice generous donation, and they'll take anyone. Even he can put his dog in yeshiva if he wants. As long as he build $3 million for a new section, they put his name over there, he calls, what are they going to do? They're embarrassed. The guy helped us to build the building, what are we going to do? So he went to the best yeshivot. Theoretically he was there. But in the time of the learning, it was, I don't know, on the beach or on the streets, I don't really know exactly what he was doing. So I set them up. And the next day, this girl taught me a lesson that I'll never forget. She told me like that, shame on you. Shame on you, I'm so embarrassed. You put me up with this guy, what did you think, that I care that he has money? 3 hours he kept me over there, he couldn't say 1 word of Torah. All he talked to me about real estate projects. I'm getting nervous now when I remember this call. So I told her, I'm so sorry, I asked the guy, he told me he went to the best yeshivot. Best yeshivot, not everyone can get accepted. They have requirements, this yeshivot. If you made it in, it's like somebody comes and says, I went to Harvard. This guy's not a fool. He has to have a brain. Imagine he went to Harvard and he's a total fool. Something is not right here. Then you found out that his father donated $50 million to Harvard. So he went to Harvard. Now it's explained the exception to the rule. So the girl didn't want to hear from him, and unfortunately from me also. But she didn't want. Why? She cared about Torah. She saw this guy doesn't know 2 words of Torah. That she cared about. So, לעולם ילמד אדם תורה ואחר כך יישא אישה. Learn Torah, and then when you be married, when you be ready to get married, then it's time to get married. And there's another reason the Rambam explained. What's the reason? Why? You say that after you get married, you cannot learn Torah in the same level like when you're single. Why? Because this is the way your day is going to be. You come to the yeshiva in the morning, you pray, you eat breakfast, you sit, you open the Gemara, you learn 15 minutes, phone call. Moshe, you have a call. Moshe, I'm very sorry. The baby doesn't feel good. Can you come help me? What? I have to go to the doctor. There's no one to watch the other kid. Can you come? Okay, so you have to say, I'm sorry, you go. Next day this, next day that, we have problem, we need money, can you talk to him, can you talk to there? It's problem, you have headache, you have responsibility now. But when you're now single, you're going to miss these days. You have all day, no one is on your head, you're free, you can sit and learn Torah. You have to take advantage of these days, because these days will not return. When you get married, you have advantages that you don't have when you're single. But to be single, you also have some advantages that you're going to lose in a time of marriage. Everybody think, wow, I'm so miserable, I'm single, I want to be married. Yes, there's advantages in it. There's also big responsibilities. Right now, when you don't have them, take advantage on these 3 days to learn Torah, because you're going to need this Torah later on. When your children will come with the Mishnah or the Gemara and ask you questions about their test, what are you going to say? I only know real estate, I only know baseball, but I don't know how to read Rashi. What are you going to tell them? So you have to be very, very smart not to get to those days, and then it's going to be maybe too late. When is the father obligated to teach Torah to his children? When? Once he begins to say the first few words. So he's teaching him, Torah tziva lanu Moshe. First thing you teach a kid, Hashem gave the Torah to Moshe, and Moshe gave us the Torah. You give him the foundation. You know, one father is learning in yeshiva. He's trying to be a tzaddik. So he begins to teach his little kid, 3 years old. He say in Hebrew, repeat after me. Torah tziva lanu Moshe. The boy is mute. Torah tziva lanu Moshe. Nothing. He's playing with the toys. Hey, Torah tziva lanu Moshe. Nothing. Like this a month. He doesn't care, this kid. Then he walk with him on the street. In Israel, you have these guys who sell watermelons with their horse. They come with their horse and a carriage. There's a pile of watermelon, like 100 years ago. Still today, it's amazing. You see all this fancy and beautiful building with glasses and state-of-the-art electronic, and this guy come with a agala and sus like this with a horse. He screams in the street, Avatiach, watermelon, and people come down. They buy watermelons. So the guy scream, Avatiach ala sakin, watermelon. I split it for you. That's how sure I am that my watermelons can never be bad. So you see this little 3 years old toddler, he begin to say, Avatiach. So he say, hey, you fool, for 1 month I'm trying to teach you Torah tziva lanu Moshe, nothing. 1 minute you heard Avatiach 2 or 3 times, already screams, Avatiach. So he comes to the rabbi. He said, Rabbi, I got something interesting that happened. All month I'm trying to teach him Torah tziva lanu Moshe. Nothing. He went on the street, the guy screamed, watermelon, watermelon, right away he knew. So the rabbi told him, what are you surprised? We have a rule דברים היוצאים מן הלב, נכנסים אל הלב. דברים שיוצאים מהשפתיים, לא נכנסים אל הלב. What comes out of the heart penetrates the heart. What comes from the lips doesn't penetrate. If the root of what you say does not come from the heart, it will not penetrate the person who listens to your heart. No. Why? He say, you just want to finish. Torah tzivah lanu Moshe. No, say it already that I can get rid of you. You're not interested. You're afraid of Hashem, so you have to do what you have to do. But it doesn't come out of your heart. But the guy, he screams watermelon, he has the mortgage, the rent tomorrow to pay. He needs to sell X amount of watermelons today. If not, tomorrow the bank knock on his door. So he screams with all his heart, Avatiach, help me. I don't want to live on the street. It comes from his heart. That's why right away the kid got it. You know, one time, in the time of Chafetz Chaim in Poland, they made a decree against the Jews. The governor. So they asked the Chafetz Chaim to go speak to him. But he was Polish. Chafetz Chaim didn't know Polish. He only knew Yiddish. So they brought an interpreter and they made an appointment from the chief rabbi with this goy. So the Chafetz Chaim, which was very short, he came with a stick and he started to talk in Yiddish. 3-4 minutes he spoke with such passion. The interpreter did not translate one word. One word. And the governor, the goy, said, tell him, I got it. I canceled the decree. You can relax. Goodbye. So the goy say, well, what's going on? I didn't even say one word. Did you understand him? He said, no. So how you agree to dismiss it like this? He said, I don't need to understand him. I see he speaks from his heart. I know I crossed the line. Tell him it's dismissed. He spoke from his heart, even in a stranger language. He didn't know what he said, but he felt that this rabbi is speaking from his heart. He entered his heart. He canceled everything. It actually happened. Without understanding what the Chafetz Chaim was saying in Yiddish. Now, in the beginning, when the kid is 6 years old, you begin to teach him. Chumash, Rashi, then Mishnah, then one day Gemara. Slowly, slowly. And also it depends how clever is the boy. Some of them you have to be patient, another year or two, later than average. Some are sharp, you can do a year earlier. You have to check. Since you don't know exactly how to evaluate your son, there's professionals in yeshiva, they can see what's the level of the kid, and they will inform you if you got lucky or not. Every Jew is obligated to learn Torah whether he's rich, whether he's poor, whether he's full in his body, whether he's a handicap, whether he's full of suffering, whether he's young, whether he's very old, that lost all his energy. Even if he's miserable and poor, he's a beggar. He go from one door to another and people give him quarters just to survive, just for bread because he can die from starvation. He must learn Torah. Even if he's married with lots of children, he must learn Torah morning and night. Morning and night. שנאמר, והגית בו יומם ולילה. The biggest rabbis in the history, some of them were chopping trees with axes. Some of them used to bring water from wells and sell them. Some of them were blind. All of them learned Torah around the clock, every open minute, with no excuses. Until when a person is obligated to learn Torah? Until the last breath of his life. There's no dismissal, no shortcuts, no discounts, until the last breath. שנאמר, ישמר לך, be very careful, פן יסורו מלבבך כל ימי חייך. Be careful that you won't have 1 minute in your life without my Torah. The entire life, not even a minute before. If you say, okay, I will learn until an hour before I die. And then after that, I want to take a break. Not allowed. Have to learn until the last minute. A person has to cut the time of his learning to 3. Third of the day is doing his work. You have a shop, so for a few hours you do business. Third of 3 hours, 3 hours of the day, I'm sorry, not third, 3 hours of his day, do business. Make some efforts to make parnasa. 3 hours a day. And 9 hours a day to learn Torah minimum. Today, a Bachur Yeshiva learn 10 hours a day. 10 hours a day. In the old days, when the Rambam wrote it, every average balabait, shoemaker, broker, farmer, everyone learned minimum 9 hours a day Torah. 9 hours a day. And 3 hours a day they used to do business. Remember, there was no electric. So 5, 6, 7 in the evening, it used to be dark already. That's it. What can you do? It's dark. So I go to sleep very early and get up 4 in the morning when when the rooster is starting to scream. That's how it was. Now, in the beginning of his life, he learned the Torah, the written Torah, the Chumash. What we call today Chumash, Rashi, with the Mefarshim of the Chumash. Then he learns the Mishnah very good. And from now on, he learns Gemara all his life. That's the highest level of learning. Highest level of learning. But today, let me make some corrections for today's level. Today, a person that is at work all day, and he has 1 or 2 hours a day to learn Torah barely, there's no time for him to learn Gemara. Because if he's going to start learning Gemara, after 1 year, when he learns an hour or 2 every day, he will finish 1 page. It will depress him. It will break his spirit. He said, 1 year I come back and forth to this yeshiva. After 1 year I finish 1 page from 5,000 pages. When exactly I'm going to finish the Gemara? When I be 900 years old? You get depressed. So what do? Today, every day of the week, he has to learn 1 aliyah of the parasha. The parasha is divided to 7 aliyot. Aliyat Kohen, Sunday. Aliyat Levi, Monday. Aliyat Shlishi, Tuesday. Aliyat Revi, until he comes Friday, he finishes the parasha, very good. Then, and the rest of the time, he learns the Mishnayot. He starts from Masechet Brachot. Today there's good Mishnayot with explanation in English, in Russian, in many languages. And you go over it until after a few years you finish all the Mishnah. If you know the Mishnayot with the explanations good, you already know more than half of the Gemara. Because the Gemara speaks about these Mishnayot in details. But you know the foundation, which is very important. A person has to learn Musar every day. Musar. Words of encouragement. Ethics. He must learn halachot every day. So he has to break the 2 hours to Chumash, Mishnah, Halacha and Musar. What happens if Friday has a lot of time? Or Shabbat also? So he can do the Chumash on Friday and Saturday. And the rest of the week learn Mishnah, Halacha and Musar. After he finish the Chumash very well, and the Mishnah very well, and he knows most of the halachot that he needs to know for the entire year, he can go into Gemara. And starting the Gemara, slowly, until he will finish when he be 500 years old. Bezrat Hashem, he'll finish. But before he learns the foundation, there's no point. Many places they make mistake. Someone come and say, I want to start learning Torah, right away, come learn Gemara. It's not for him. It's not in his level. You only turn him off like that. You have to give him level according to his learning. A woman that learns, she gets a reward, but less than a man. Why? Because she's not obligated to learn. So why less? Someone who's not obligated should get more. I'm obligated to work. So you pay me what I work for. Someone come to volunteer. He doesn't have to. He deserves more, no? So why women get less? Why? There's no chauvinism here. Why? Because when a person is obligated, the Satan doesn't give him a peace of mind. He always resists him, the evil inclination. When you're obligated to do something, you see how the evil inclination fighting against it all the time. When you're not obligated, it's much, much easier to do. That's why the reward of the man is much higher than from a woman. Every city must have a yeshiva. If it doesn't have yeshiva for children, you're not allowed to live there. No permission just because they have beautiful buildings or business is good over there. First thing you check before you move to a place, where your children will be, if there's good yeshiva or not. Then if there's a good shul or not. If there's no good yeshiva, no good shul, there's no permission to live there. So if somebody offers you a job, it's a great opportunity somewhere in the middle of Honolulu, but there's no kosher minyan over there, and no good yeshiva for the children. Don't call me to ask if you're allowed to move. I already tell you now, you're not allowed to consider it. There's no permission to live in a place that your children will get lost. They come before the money, before the beautiful, luxurious house. No. First, the soul of the children. And Yoirat Shamayim. You have to agree that the people who live in Vegas and the people who live in Muncie are not exactly in the same average level. Why? Because the people in Muncie are better people than the ones in Vegas? No. The atmosphere of a place with 70,000 ultra-Orthodox people around you all day, every day of your life, and 70,000 prostitutes around you every day of your life, makes a difference. Makes a difference. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. If you come out of the plane in Vegas, you're already in a casino. Nobody asks you, did you ever go there or not? I hope not. I went there for lectures. Yeah, I didn't know what I'm going to. And I come out of the plane, I already see all the slots machine, all the cowboys, all these things, whatever happening over there. Unbelievable. Then, a Rabbi that teach the children and leave them alone and go out in the middle of learning to do something else, such as speaking on a phone, it can be today, he is arur. You know what arur? Who got this curse arur? Hashem cursed the snake that is arur. Arur means a big curse. Arur ose melechet Hashem remiyah. It's like being a crook, leaving the children and going outside to do other things in the middle of the hours that you have to teach them Torah. That's why you have to choose very carefully who you put to teach your children Torah. If it's a person who comes in and out, and is checking his phone in the middle of a class, or he comes to the class 10 minutes late because he was drinking his coffee and talking to someone in the hallway every day, that's a big problem. How many kids you have to put in a class? Up to 25 on one teacher. Not more than 25. More than that, that's it. They can't control the class. This was 800 years ago, 900 years ago, when the kids were 1,000,000 times better than today. They don't see ninja, they don't see karate, they don't see naked women everywhere. They don't hear the curses that the parents curse each other in the house. They don't have television 800 years ago. What did they have 800 years ago? Lots of respect and manners. 25 in a class. If Rambam would be today, he would write one kid in a class. I promise you. One kid is enough. He cannot control him today. He beat up his Rabbi. Two already, the Rabbi cannot control them. One against one, maybe he's stronger. Two, one would go left, one would go right. That's it. They put him to sleep. Ay, 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 ay. If one of the people wants to make a yeshiva for kids in his house and the neighbors are against it, they want to sue him. They say, oh, it's going to be noisy, kids running in the breaks, in the recess. Well, it's a neighborhood. It's a luxury neighborhood here. Don't make this place a commercial area. He said, no, there's no place for the kids to sit and learn Torah. Baruch Hashem, I have a big basement here. I want them to come teach Torah here. So they want to make a petition against him. They allowed or no? Maybe it would lower the value of their homes when people know there's noise in a block. The answer is, אין יכולים שכניו למחות בידו. No one has permission to mess with the Torah. Just keep your mouth shut, be there and be quiet. You don't want Hashem to bury you. When they open a shul or yeshiva, especially for children in your block, not only you're not allowed to go against them, take them to court, fight against them, you have to run and say, well, how can I be a help for you? You need light? You need a shortcut from my backyard? Do you need anything? Whatever you need, me help you. That's kosher too. Not a guy that can step on his grass. That's what happened there. Almost every walk, by the way, has a in court. Them Orthodox Jews. How can it be? I don't understand. I remember when they built a shul next to my home. So, everyone came to ask if they can cut from my backyard. I said, of course, my honor, my pleasure. I remember that at least half of the people were so shocked that I say, of course, what's the question? It was so obvious that if it was their homes, they wouldn't let me step on the grass. That's how shocked they were that I agree so easily. I'm thinking to myself, what did we come to this world to have a nice grass in the backyard? Or what is this? Nobody knows what's important, what's not. Oh, you step on my land. Your car is too close to my driveway. It's disturbing me. There's too much noise, 11 o'clock, in the parking of the shul. How can we stop them? One guy, listen to this, you never heard such a story. One guy was extra crazy. Extra crazy. So he didn't want any cars to park near his driveway. So he put signs, warnings, tow truck, towing. So nobody dared to park too close to his driveway. He had the truck, a cement truck. These trucks that have this mixer that goes around and makes cement, prepare the cement. So one time he comes, now he has a whole long driveway, he has a private house, so he has to come in reverse and park his big truck in his driveway. It's exactly the size of his truck, the whole long driveway. So, he has to come in an angle and turn around, and if the cars are too close to the driveway, it's a problem. One day he comes, not only that the car is close to the driveway, it's parking inside his driveway. He said, I'm going to teach this chutzpan a lesson that they will never forget in his life. So he comes, he opened the mixer in the back, and he poured all the cement on a brand new car. The smell of the factory is already on this car, still on this car. He covered the car with cement, he took the shovel, and he made sure to close the doors from all directions that the person would not be able to open it in any way. And he said, he has the nerve to break into my property, he will never do it again. After he relaxed, he got all his anger out, he walked to the house, and he see his entire family, all his sons, his wife, brothers. Surprise! Happy anniversary! Dad, congratulations! We got you the car you always dreamed about. It happened in reality. Hashem taught him a good lesson. Man desane alech al ta'aseh lechaverach. What you hate people doing to you, don't dare to do to others. There's another case like this, similar. One guy, his wife called him up after she left the house. She said, Moshe, I know you went upstairs, but please do me a favor. I forgot the soup on the fire, on the stove. Go shut the fire. So he said to her, I'm already in the shower. I was about to turn the water on. She said, what do you want? Do you want all the water, the soup to spill? Do me a favor, 1 second. Go downstairs and shut it. I said, okay. So now he's thinking, I'm ready for the shower now. What am I going to get dressed now? No one is in the house. Let me run quickly downstairs and shut the fire. So he ran quickly, he goes down the stairs, he turns the lights on, he makes the right. 300 people come out. Surprise! Happy birthday! That's why I hate surprises. Ay. Talmid Chacham that knows Torah, even if he's a mamzer, which means his wife cheated on a father and gave birth to him from a stranger, and he cannot marry anyone besides a mamzeret like him, illegitimate boy with an illegitimate girl only, or a convert. Other than that, he's stuck. But if he's a Talmid Chacham, he's greater than a Kohen Gadol Am Haaretz. Kohen Gadol, the most important job in the world, the top Kohen, a mamzer, 16 years old. Everybody knows it's not his father's son. Everybody points at him. Look at this one. This woman who cheated on her husband, that's the boy who came out. And he knows lots of Torah. Now you have to give aliyah on Shabbat. So you say Kohen, you see a Kohen sit over there, doesn't know any Torah. And you see this mamzer, but he knows a lot of Torah. You have to give the mamzer aliyat Kohen, before the Kohen. So why we don't do it today? We don't want to embarrass the kids to tell everyone they mamzerim. People begin to talk, they find out. But the main thing is we don't want to embarrass the Kohen. We don't want to embarrass them. But just that we know the level of Torah, that you can be in a war status, and the Torah will bring you up to the highest status. 3 crowns Hashem gave to the Jewish nation. The crown of Kohanim, the crown of the kings, and the crown of Talmid Chacham, of Torah. Torah is the highest among 3. The highest, and everyone is free to come and grab as much as Torah as he wants. Right? There's no mitzvah in the entire Torah that is equal in the reward to learning Torah. Limud Torah keneged kulam. You put on a scale 612 mitzvot, and Torah and the other side, Limud Torah keneged kulam. One Limud Torah like the 612 combined. Someone who finally understands the importance of learning Torah should forget about wealth, should forget about business, should forget about pleasure, should forget about trips, forget about sport, forget about art, forget about nonsense. He has to put all his mind in Torah if he wants to be a real Talmid Chacham. Real. שנאמר, כך היא דרכה של תורה, this is the way of the Torah. פת במלח תאכל, eat very simple food. You don't care, chicken, fish, sushi, no, whatever, what's to eat? Bread with a little piece of cheese, good. Bread alone, good. Whatever you have. What is it, zucchini? Let me eat zucchini. Whatever, it doesn't matter. My mind is not in this world. So, drink water, doesn't have to be in anything fancy, whatever water you can get. You will get ready to sleep on the floor, don't complain, live hard life, and put all your efforts in the Torah, and thanks to that you'll become somebody big. If you want to learn Torah in a beautiful air condition with a leather couch, someone giving you massage, smoking your cigar, coming from 9 to 5, maybe you become a postman, not a Talmid Chacham. Nothing will come out of you. If you care if the chandelier is clean or not, you're not a Talmid Chacham. You will never find anyone who loves wealth and luxury that is a Talmid Chacham. Never. And if he makes a lot of impression on you that he knows a lot of Torah, he's still a monkey compared to a real Talmid Chacham. Because Talmid Chacham Amiti is definitely doesn't care about material. Definitely. Only somebody who is in love with Hashem and the Torah, he cannot be in love with everything that we have around. It's true that it's convenient, it gives a peace of mind, we know all this. But it's definitely not the main thing on his life. So he's getting ready to learn Torah in any condition. Rav Shach, when he was 16 years old, Eliezer Man Shach, the boy, learning somewhere in Russia. He learned in a yeshiva that there was no mattresses. No mattresses. And one day, after 3 years of sleeping on the floor, freezing floor with snow outside, he came to the Rosh Yeshiva. He said, my uncle sent me a letter. He doesn't have kids. He has a big factory. He's very rich. There's no one to inherit him. He told me to come to his town. He wants to teach me how to run the factory. And one day he's going to leave me the whole thing. And there is over there Torah. So I'm getting ready to catch the train and go. They try to convince him, no, you're young, you should learn Torah. No, my uncle is waiting. But really, he wanted to go, not because of his uncle. He was tired of sleeping on a hard stone floor. Just when he went out with his bag to the train station, he comes out of the yeshiva, a widow showed up with a mattress in her hand. She comes to him, she says, excuse me, are you from this yeshiva? He says, yes. She says, I heard you have shortage with mattresses here. Horrible poverty, horrible. She said, I heard you have shortage in mattresses here. He said, yes. Some of the guys sleep on the floor. She said, my husband just died. And we just finished the Shiva today, and I have an extra mattress, so I want to donate it to the yeshiva. Do you have a mattress? He said, no, but he's on the way to the train. So she gave him the mattress. He said, it's yours, a gift. And she left. So now he's standing with his big bag, and he has a mattress in the middle of the street, 16 years old. And he started to think. He said, 3 years I'm sleeping like a dog on the floor. Hashem didn't see a necessity to send me a mattress. Didn't bother him. I sleep on the floor. I learn Torah non-stop. Now when I finally broke, I'm about to leave, all of a sudden, in a perfect timing, he brings me a mattress. What am I supposed to understand from that? What? What am I supposed to understand? Hashem doesn't want me to leave. Tomorrow, if the mattress would come, it won't be any good. He turned around and he went right back into the yeshiva, and he died 90 years later as the biggest rabbi in the world. The leader of all the Orthodox Jews in the world. Rav Shach, 106 years old, Rosh Yeshivat Ponovich, the most important yeshiva in the world. What happened if it would be us? What would we say to Hashem? Too little, too late, buddy. Thank you very much. Where were you 3 years? Goodbye. Go inside, find somebody that sleeps on the floor, give it to him. I already have a plan. That's the difference between a loser and a winner. A loser always loses to the Yetzer Hara. A winner always wins. He realized, Hashem sends me a clear message. How can I ignore it? The Rambam says, Shema Tomar, you may say, you know when I'm going to learn Torah? After I make enough money. Like most of us say. עד שאקבץ ממון, אחזור ואקרא. Let me first go work. Let me go to college. Let me become a lawyer. Let me make 5 million. Let me buy a house in Great Neck. Let me buy 2 Rolls Royce. And then I'm going to come to learn Torah when I be 750 years old. If this thought even crossed your mind, I'm talking to you divine words here. I hope you're clever enough to get the point. This is a week before the acceptance of the Torah. Chag Shavuot. If this thought crossed your mind, you will never inherit a piece in the Torah of Hashem. Never. If you think, one day I would learn. First business now. First I have to buy a house. I have to have enough money that a girl would want to marry me. All these kinds of nonsense, no emunah words. You will never, ever know Torah. Ever. So the rule is, every Jew must understand, Hashem, your Torah is my oxygen. And everything else, it's secondary. Whether I have it, I don't have it, I don't care. One thing I care. What do I care? I care to learn as much as Torah as I can. That's it. Nothing will ever dismiss me from my learning. Nothing. Just the Torah, and everything else, it's a punishment for me. Vacation, restaurant, work, it's all burden. That's what David HaMelech said. We have to learn from the greatest in the history. Shivti bevet Hashem kol yemei chayai. My dream is to be a yeshiva bachur. I'm the king of the world. What do I need this? The chief of the army. The chief of the world. Wives, honor, wealth, leader. Put it all in the garbage. Make me a simple guy sitting and learning Torah in yeshiva. That's my dream. Read in Tehillim. That's what he wanted. Why? He knew what's real and what's fake. We don't know. That's why people are willing to close the Gemara and the Torah and go to get a business opportunity. Why? Because the Torah is not important in their eyes. If you think so, you will never have a peace. Scary, scary. Never have a peace in the Torah of Hashem. Never. The Torah says, we almost finished, the Torah says, Lo b'shamayim. It's not in heaven. Velo me'ever layami. It's not across the ocean. An arrogant person can never learn Torah because it's full of ego. Someone with ego will never let someone teach him. He thinks he's the best. In order for you to be a good learner, you must put your ego to 0. I'm nothing. If you think you're nothing, one day you'll be something. If you think you're something, you'll always be nothing. Remember this. So, the Torah has to be everything in my life. Everything else, whatever happen, it's not in my hand anyway. But the Torah, Hashem, please don't punish me. Please don't make me get up from the Torah. You have to know one thing. It's a big mitzvah to save life. But if you have to go save someone's life, and that minute you were able to learn Torah, it's a punishment. Let me clarify what I say. Two guys sits in yeshiva. One face the lake outside, one face the inside of the yeshiva. And someone is drowning. And the person who faced the lake saw it. He closed the Gemara. He ran outside. He jumped to the lake. He saved that person from drowning. He feels great. This entire thing took half an hour. And he feels great. Wow, I had an opportunity to save life. What does the Torah say? Gadol Talmud Torah yoter me'atzalat nefashot. Learning Torah in my eyes is bigger and greater than saving someone from dying. So if you have a choice between learning Torah in yeshiva or being an atzala guy, if you have a choice between being an avrech in a kollel, learning Torah, or be a big professor or brain surgeon that saves life, if you have a dilemma if to become a learner of a Torah or to be a big soldier in the army who goes to war and save the people from death, that's not a dilemma. The Torah already say, none of those things can be even compared to sit and learn Torah. Even people who goes and save souls by giving lectures and making people religious will not be able to make one Jew religious without the people who sit and learn Torah. Even the soldiers, when they go to the war, will not be able to kill one enemy if we wouldn't sit and learn Torah. Where does it say it? Yoshua ben Nun, when he went to the war, half of his army was sitting and learning Torah, and the other half would go and fight. And the Torah say, who would win the war? The ones who sit and learn Torah. The other ones are going with bow and arrow and swords. Every day they can die. The ones who sit and learn Torah, nobody is killing them. Sit and learn Torah. They bring everything, the energy, the holiness, the life, the protection. It's all the Torah. Torah is an amazing thing that people don't value what Torah is. They think it's like learning math. That's why they don't take it seriously enough. A person who knows what Torah is, I once told you, 1 hour, the Chafetz Chaim calculated, 60,000 mitzvot. Every letter of Torah, it's one mitzvah from the Torah. An average Hebrew word have 5 letters. An average person say 200 words in a minute. To each word have 5 letters, so it's 1,000 letters a minute. 60 minutes in an hour, 60,000 mitzvot in 1 hour. Multiply by 10 hours a day, that an average yeshiva guy is learning 600,000 mitzvot in a day. Multiplied by 7 years of life, I don't have to tell you the calculation. You got the point, I hope. But people take it for granted. So just before we finish, every person who thinks, I am going to learn Torah as a tool to make money. I'm going to know Torah and I will become a Baba. I put an ad in a newspaper. I wear a white kilt. I put a tarbush, like they used to have in Morocco, in Baghdad. I put a nice thing, grow a nice beard, and take one guy to hold my hand and my books. And we come, and they put me on a beautiful chair like this. And everyone would stand online and come with notes. And I'll make millions. You're laughing, huh? You know how many thousands like this we have in our days? They get angry when I speak about it in my lecture. I get complaints, not from them directly. They send me someone. Why you have to constantly say it? You're offline. Why are you speaking against this? Why are you speaking against this and that? You're hinting about that guy and this guy. I say, if I won't do it, who would do it? All the audience are very naive. They have no understanding. They judge the people by the way they look. They don't know if they're really holy or not. I'll bring them some Indian from India with his white beard that just kiss Buddha and drink the pee of the cow for breakfast. They also think he's holy. I bet. You want to bet? I'll come. I'll bring one of them. I said, don't say a word. Just close your eyes and go like this. Pretend you read Tehillim. I'll do the job. $1 million in a day I raise for you. Why? Because the people are fools. They see somebody look holy. Right away. How much you want? Sell your house. Do this. Wire me the money. And then you know what happened? If you open the door for this, excuse my language, bloodsuckers, they won't leave one drop of blood in your body. Because when one day you want to stop sending them money, because for whatever reason you don't have anymore, then the threats would begin. They'll send you messenger. What happened? He's very angry at you. You left him. You neglected him. He's makpid on you. Don't be surprised that all your business will be bankrupt. Don't be surprised that you get cancer. They put psychological pressure on the people to blackmail them. So for the last time, I hope that people would get the point without saying names. There's no point of even saying names. Baruch Hashem, there's a lot of holy people, a lot. Very holy, very modest, very humble, very honest. They really care about Torah, not about money. They really want to give you a blessing for you to be healthy, for you to be successful, not thinking what's in it for them. If you go to Rabbi Yossi, he's going to tell you what you're giving me for my bracha? Never. You go to Rav Chaim Kanievsky, he's going to tell you, what are you giving me for my bracha? Never. Rav Eliashiv ever asked, what would you do for me? Rav Ben Zion Abba Shaul ever wanted, even when people gave it to them, he didn't want to give, he want to take. They offer him all kinds of things, didn't want. The Baba Sali wanted something. Who wanted? The great leaders of the generation, never in a history you found that they wanted one thing from a person, ever. And their blessing were 99.999% working. Unless if Hashem saw a reason not for. Their blessing were solid as a rock. The people who not even 1% of their blessing work, they have high demands and big eyes. Yeah. So you got to be, so what's the solution? What's the solution? The solution is better just to scream to Hashem in your bedroom. Close the room. Hashem, I'm not counting on any person. Just about you. Yes?
What if some of these rabbis, you call them for a bris, $1,000 you have to give? Or to do some kind of your side or something, $1,000.
You know what it means? That means Hashem tells you, you better find a different mohel. It's very good. The good news, you have to look at the positive. If a person say to you, I want $1,000 for this and this and that, that means that he is actually revealing himself to you. Which means Hashem is telling you, Avram, stay away from this guy. However, let me tell you something. Just because some of the things in the Torah, people are not allowed to charge money, doesn't mean we have to take advantage on them. They have children, they have mortgages, they have expenses. We have to give them more than they want to ask. There's a difference when we give them because we want to give them because it's mitzvah of tzedakah, and it's hakarat hatov, and it's being grateful, than when they blackmail me, or they making conditions. That's the problem. That's why Hashem say, Ma'ani bechinam afatem bechinam. Why are we paying to the mohel? You know why? We're not allowed to pay him for the actual brit. We pay him for coming to check the baby before. We pay him for the gas and the tolls. And schar batala, for the 5-6 hours that he could make money somewhere else by working. So we make him lose money, so we're just paying him what he was losing. We're not really paying him for the brit. That's why it's allowed. Same thing in speakers and rabbis and everyone else. Today, there is a factor of time. It's not like in the old days, you call a moel, is 1 block away from you, because everyone lived together in a community. So he comes, he does the brit, finished. No, really driving 3 hours in traffic, paying $60 gas and tolls to get to Queen, to do the brit, and then another 2 hours in traffic, the whole day is gone for him. You have to understand. Plus he has to come twice. What are you going to do? It's not fair to take advantage on him. We have to pay. But the real ones, they say whatever you want to give, it's fine. Because they know some people rich, some people poor. The idea is that we should never be on the side of people who takes advantage on anyone. That's the message here today. I don't want him to tell me how much to pay him. I want to give him enough or more than what he wanted. Not because he's demanding, because that's the right thing to do, you understand? And that's it. And just before we finish, mamash, last 4 minutes, the words of Torah can never remain in a spoiled person, that he cares about food and clothing and house and cars and all kinds of things like this. Oh, we didn't take our annual vacation. If somebody like this learns Torah, it does not remain in him. And not people who learn gently. Gently, no pressure. There's plenty of time. Or eating and drinking all day. Drinking, eating. He thinks he's in a restaurant. Yeah? Rather, by a person who's willing to die from efforts to gain knowledge in my Torah, Hashem said. ממית את עצמו על התורה. This is the last parasha. אם בחוקותיי תלכו, שתהיו עמלים בתורה. אדם, זאת התורה, אדם כי ימות באוהל. This is my Torah. A person is ready to die in the tent. That's called yeshiva. I'm with Hashem. I'm yours. Help me. I'm ready. I'm ready. אין התורה מתקיימת אלא במי שממית עצמו באוהלי חכמים. Willing to accept criticism. Willing to work very hard. Hot, cold, difficult. He's not running away from anything. Also, when you learn, say the words loud. Don't think the words. Say it in your lips. It will get recorded in your subconscious when you say it. When you think it, it's not recorded well enough. It's better to learn Torah at night than in a day. And especially after midnight. Why? It's hours of mercy. The Zohar said that in these hours, HaKadosh Baruch Hu goes to heaven with all the righteous people. Someone who sits and learns all night, chut shel chesed yesh alav. There's a line, a string of mercy directly from Hashem to his head. Someone who can sit and learn Torah and instead is going to enjoy the world, playing golf, going on vacation, picking up apples, fishing. He will cry very much one day for his stupidity. One day when he see what he lost for this stupid fishing and all this golf and all these things. One day he will realize what he just lost. Not always people realize on time. By the time they realize, there's no time to fix. We are not allowed to teach Torah to someone who is corrupted and arrogant. First we have to make him a human being, and then start teaching him Torah. Which means we have to teach him Musar, pride, be humbled, change your bad ways, dress like a human being, get up on the right time in the morning, speak like a human being, fix your haircut, fix your look, fix the way you eat, fix your dirty language, work on your faith, work on your generosity, eliminate your anger, eliminate the prostitution inside your heart, watch your eyes, don't make sins with the ladies, etc. After we clean him from all the bad habits, now we have to push lots of holy Torah into him. But if the tool is dirty, no matter how much money, how much water you put, the water will be contaminated. It's enough, there's few bad drops inside, bad dirt. That's it, everything becomes dirty. אין מלמדים תורה אלא לתלמיד הגון נאה במעשיו. A person that is humbled, straight, decent, behave with manners. If he goes in a negative direction, you first make him a Baal Tshuva. You correct his way. You push him to the right track. You check him very carefully. And only after that you put him in yeshiva and teach him. Even if someone knows a lot of Torah and his ways are not kosher, not allowed to learn Torah from him. His ways is not kosher. Now the Rambam gives the laws of how you teach, where the rabbis sit. We'll skip all that. I just want to have 1 or 2 minutes left. So we should know one thing. Someone who's shy to ask would never learn. Someone who's too strict will never be able to be a teacher. Someone who don't have patience cannot teach. Someone who is lazy cannot learn and cannot teach. Angry and proud people cannot be successful in anything in their life. Out of respect to the Torah, there's no permission to sleep inside the yeshiva. You want to sleep, go outside and sleep. Not allowed to put your head down and sleep. This is a holy place. Over here you collect diamonds. You don't put your head down. And if you stayed up all night, no problem. Go outside and sleep. A person that has a rabbi has to know that his rabbi come before his father. In everything. He has respect to the rabbi more than to his own father. Respecting the rabbi, it's an obligation like respecting Hashem. Et Hashem Elokecha tira, fear your God. Why it say Et Hashem? To include the Talmidei Chachamim. Not only his personal rabbi, every big Talmid Chacham, you have to treat him almost like he's Hashem. Almost. Just a little bit less. Almost like it's Hashem. If Hashem is 100%, he's 99%. He comes in, you stand. He talk, you be quiet. He wants to sell his merchandise in the market, you have to take your merchandise into the bag until he finish. There's rules, there's taxes, he's dismissed from everything. There's a war, you don't bother them to go to the war to fight. You need guards in a city from enemies, you don't bother them. There's collecting tax to make roads, or people have to volunteer, you don't call them. You treat them like the king of the world. Why? That's what Hashem said. Whether you like it or not. That's the rules. The rabbis, however, not only should not be happy from this honor, should feel horrible that people give them this respect. But they're not allowed to eliminate that respect because it's not their respect, it's the respect of Hashem. It's not, oh, don't have to give me respect. No, why? I'm humble. If it was respect because you're rich, you're right. Respect because you're handsome, you're right. Respect because you're smart in other things, you're right. Respect because you know a lot of Torah, it's respect of Hashem. It's not so simple. Be'ezrat Hashem, of course we're not allowed to call the rabbi in his first name. You're not allowed to talk to him in direct language. You don't even take your tefillin in front of him. There's lots of rules. Even when you saw him doing something wrong, you're not allowed to confront him. You have to speak in a hint. Rabbi, I remember one time you gave a drasha and you said that this and this and this is not allowed. He get the point. You don't say, oh, I just saw you speaking Lashon Hara. Oh, I just saw you doing something bad. Why? He's not your friend. If you insult him, you are finished. המבזה תלמיד חכם אין תרופה למכתו. Someone who insulted a Talmid Chacham, someone who knows a lot of Torah, there's no cure for his punishment. That's it. Dismissed. Dismissed case. So just before you ever dare to do it, no matter how much you deserve it, no matter how much you got on your nerve, your one thing you don't want to ever do is disrespect a rabbi. I travel a lot in the world and I come to all kinds of communities. And I've seen people who speak to the rabbis in a very bad way, with disrespect. They have their reasons. If you tell them why, they give you a list of reasons. But I've seen also in my ears that all these people, they pay such tremendous prices for what they did. Horrible prices. Why? They think they're smart. In reality, they can only lose. There's no winning situation. Yes? The word "they did something wrong to you," in 99% of the cases, it's an imagination of the person. Because if you ask the rabbi, "Rabbi, can I eat this pork?" and he tells you no, you already get offended. Some people would say, "The rabbi is very bad to me. Why? He did not allow me to eat. He did not allow me to do. He did not allow me this. He didn't let me use the shul. He didn't let me be the shliach tzibur. I needed help. He didn't care about me." You know, I'll give you an example. One woman, she sent me an email a few days ago. She doesn't understand I get between 300 to 500 emails a day. And I'm flooded with work and pressure and try to figure it out who's against who. Every second of my life, I can't even sleep normally anymore from all the texts and phone calls and pressure. So she sends me, she says, "Someone refer me to you. I have some questions and problems." She says, "You can help me. So can I ask you my question?" So I answer yes, but please do it shortly. Anything wrong? You know how she got offended? She disappeared. After 2 weeks, I get a long email, 15 minutes to read. How many complaints this Chatzufa has against me? She was ready to kill me, like I owe her something, like I work for her. I say, do it shortly, and try to divide my time to as many Jews possible. I don't have time to sit an hour per person to read all his life story. People don't understand that. It's a nightmare. You read hundreds of emails every day for 18 years? Going crazy already. What kind of life is this? A very miserable life. No time to open a book anymore. So I said to her, "I don't understand what was the problem. I told you can ask your question. Try to do it as short as possible. What's the problem?" But I went to another rabbi, and he was very nice and friendly to me. I don't know who she went to. So very good. I'm glad you found someone that have more time than me. You understand what's going on here? People have no logic. They have one thing. I came to the world, and everyone is here to serve me. Whatever you get, say thank you. Nobody owes you anything. Whatever people did for you, it's already too much. And when the rabbi disagreed to do what you requested, say thank you very much, I understand, goodbye. It's all ego. The ego kills the people. He owed me, he didn't respect me, he didn't give me aliyah, I gave him donation, he didn't say enough thank you, I thought he's going to put me on a big chair in front of everyone and tell me that I'm the greatest guy in the world. Everyone has his illusions. And also people don't see the entire picture. So first of all, I want to tell you something. Every rabbi that has a kosher, clean reputation, not a thief, nobody comes and say, he went after me, stole millions from me, he died, played with women, all kinds of things like this that unfortunately sometimes you hear. He has clean reputation, even if he's not the sharpest in the world, even if he's not the greatest speaker in the world, even if he's whatever, but he has clean reputation. You have to respect him like you respect Hashem. That's it. If you mess with him, you mess with Hashem. Yes?
What if the rabbi, is a rabbi allowed to disrespect another Jew, like embarrass him in public?
Not allowed. There's no permission for any Jew, include rabbis, to embarrass another person, except one thing. If you speak inside the shul, and you give him one warning to stop, and he continue, he's allowed to embarrass him and throw him out in front of everyone. Yes. But other than that, no, you have to be careful not to offend people. Any last question for tonight? Yeah.
Rabbi, you were talking about, let's say you were trying to save somebody's life. Let's say you were learning, right? And you saw, for example, somebody drowning. What if you saw like a big rabbi drowning? Were you allowed to do that?
Yes. Then it's a different story. Why? Because when you save someone who teach Torah a lot, and benefits the Jewish nation. So even though you lost, because you had to close the Gemara and you just missed an hour of learning, in the long run, it will pay off. Because from this moment on, everything he will do in his life, you have a share in it. You understand? That's why the same thing, if you support a rabbi that teach a lot of Torah, you automatically become a partner in everything he does in his life. Everything. He gives Dvar Torah in the morning, it's like you did. He teach in a yeshiva, it's like you did. Why? Because you automatically become attached to him. Thanks to your money and your help, he's able to do what he does. So it makes you a partner in a way, Hashem knows how much, in everything he does. Where we learn it from? The nation of Israel gave the money, the Maasrot, to the Leviim. The Torah said that Hashem told Moshe to teach the Leviim the service of Bet HaMikdash, what they have to do. And after that, the Torah says, and Bnei Israel did everything that Hashem ordered them. So the Gemara say, what does it have to do with Bnei Israel? It was specifically to the Leviim, not to the regular Jews. They're not allowed to do what the Leviim has to do. So the Torah says, because all the nation of Israel supported the Leviim with their money, therefore everything the Leviim did, every Jew has a stock by these Leviim. Understand? So from here we learn that when you support financially a Talmid Chacham or someone who benefits the public, you become automatically a part of this good deed. I want to thank everyone, first of all to my very good friend Rabbi Neria Cohen for organizing this beautiful Tuesday night. Next week it's Chag, so we will see you after in 2 weeks, Bezrat Hashem. Thank you for coming. The lecture is longer than usual, but one day you thank me for that. They have nothing to complain. Thank you very much. Chag Sameach.